Okay, so by now, most college books are available in a digital form. Digital college books are very convenient for the average student because they can be taken everywhere in a compact form. A lot of the times, they're a lot cheaper, um, and regular books are really heavy and bulky in a person's backpack or bag. We've all been there. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that college books should be digital. A lot of digital versions of college books are very taken advantage of, in the sense that they make things too easy to look, too easy. They make homework too easy. Anymore, you can use a search bar within a textbook to find exactly what you're looking for, and it eliminates the pure reading of the material and lessens the amount of information that is retained. Thebestschools.org is just a governmental website that explains certain things about certain aspects of schooling, and they had explained why physical books are actually, or why they think that physical books are superior to ebooks. A couple of important ideas that they do mention include the feeling of progress. So when you read a full chapter, you feel like, wow, I read the whole chapter, I've learned, I can do the homework now. Whereas with an ebook, again, like I said, you can search through the taskbar, search the idea that you're looking for, and boom, there's the answer you're looking for. Another idea that they mention is focus. A lot of e-readers now include a lot of other applications. I personally have a Kindle Paperwhite. It has no other feature other than looking like a original book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my focus with a digital college book is not there, and which is why I'm glad that they mentioned this. And all around, I think too that the book smell that I think a lot of people, including kids, they just love the original book smell. But the main ideas that they show are the feeling of progress and focus, especially with kids. So kids have also been learning better with regular books than e-readers. They have short attention spans, so when you have something that can deter them from what they're doing because of other applications, or they can have multiple things open at the same time, it really takes them away from their learning. And Spreeder is actually another source that produced a study that showed that literacy and learning for children are more effective with printed books versus ebooks. Because of their attention span, it keeps them centralized and focused on the story rather than with the interaction with the device. Um, and it really, and it, for kids too, along with the focus is the issue with vision and eyes with digital books. Um, an issue with a lot of people when it comes to e-readers are strain on our eyes. A lot of devices now have updated and gotten better at it. With a blue light filter, I think our phones have it now as well. That helps the reader and it doesn't strain their eyes as much, but ultimately it still will strain your eyes. However, there's an eyeball source, I call them an eyeball source. They're called Laser for Eyes. They actually did a comparison on the strain of eyes from e-readers and normal books. And they ultimately said that both in their own way can strain our eyes, and that we just need to take breaks from, like normal, from reading smaller fine print and playing video games and stuff like that. Um, and But their main focus was actually on children because they are still uh, growing, they're still developing and stuff like that. So, all in all, ebooks are a great idea and invention from the past few years, and they've allowed you to compact a lot more books into one situation. But I feel like they're taken advantage of as far as studying and retaining knowledge is more difficult, and it can cause strain on the eyes in its own way. So again, I don't think that college books should be digital. They need to be physical books for better learning.
That's
And
good. I
that is
like
it.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I never really thought about how easy it could be to like go through stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And that's crazy all the time though, because I say that it's so easy to just search for something in a search bar, and I do that. Like that's what
Yeah.
I do because it's available to me, and then sometimes, I just want to read a physical book, which is why I'm glad I got the Paperwhite version, because the screen that it has is not blue light. It's not
Yeah.
any of that stuff. It just looks like a normal book, but it allows me to store more books.
So, for like this little question and answer thing, I'll probably ask like 3 questions if I can. But,
Sure.
how much do you think you estimate that, like, how much do you use like screens per day, I guess? Like, do you have an estimate for that?
Screens as a whole, I think we probably, at least my boyfriend and I, use maybe 95% of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean we're always looking at it, but it's on.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we'll play music through it. We watch a lot of YouTube gamers, and Twitch,
Yeah.
so we have it open a lot. But I would say at least 95% of the day, and I think kids are the same way even now. Like, and it's really terrible, because when I was, in elementary school age, I was outside all the time. I didn't have screens, and I had dial up, so.
Yeah.
But I would say screens by everybody are used between 80 to 100% of the day, which is really kind of strange.
Mm-hmm. So do you use ebooks at all or a lot?
Since I got my Paperwhite, I actually don't use it as much as I thought I would. And I still have a huge bookshelf full of books that I actually pull off a lot more often than I do for that. I do use it mostly for traveling. So that way I'm not like how I was in middle school, where I would have my backpack full of like 6 novels just sitting in there. But yeah, I do find that I use it more during traveling than I would just every day at home. I would just rather grab a book off the shelf and use it.
Mm-hmm. So like just like a question, like if you had like a child, would you let them get like an ebook or like
Mm-hmm.
no? You would
No, I
have them,
wouldn't.
like, get real books from the library and stuff.
Yep. Yep. I feel like I said, it makes things too easy now, and I don't think that kiddos that young should have something like that where you can do 6 things at once. Granted, awesome, they can multitask, but
Yeah.
ultimately, if they're going to read a book, I would rather them pull one off the shelf or go to the library rather than use an e-reader. So that, and they can break.
Yeah.
They can break. And those are a lot more expensive than buying another paperback book. So
yeah, that's true. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have.
Okay.
But it was I liked it.
Thank you.
Something you don't really think about, especially because I didn't really grow up with like iPads and stuff in schools, but I know there are schools that like do that a lot, especially in elementary school. But yeah.
It took me a long time to figure out that topic. And I was sitting on my ebook for school, and I was like, you know what? This is becoming really easy. And I was like, speech idea.
Yeah.
So